Coming up next, Curries Corner. The opinions expressed are those of the hosts and guests and do not necessarily reflect radio, its staff, management, or sponsors.
Time for Curries Corner with Pat Curry, sponsored by our friends at Big Rapids Pennzoil and Auto Repair, Wenger Insurance, and 911 Restoration.
Oh, we're already getting going.
Hey,
here.
good morning, Bob. We're all smiling this morning. At the mayor's table this morning, it was just all laughs. We had Bill Shively in there, and he'll make you the days of old with him when he worked for the Alumni Association and Ferris. Alumni. And I went on a few trips with him, and we can't talk about those trips or what we did, but he was a great why he left, it was for more money for State Farm. Like he said, he made a lot of money there. But anyway, didn't have as much fun, I don't think, though, because I tell you, back in the Ferris days, he was, and to this day, he still has a lot of fun. But we had a lot of laughs. Kim Wells was there, and Bill Torrey, and Joe Bayshaw, myself, and Fred Gunther, the mayor, was there. We just laughed and laughed and laughed. In fact, we got the mayor coming in this morning to reminisce. And, the one thing about Bob, Christmas season downtown, it was just beautiful down there. Carleen Rose at the Emporium, the back room there, whatever, Kilwins, I guess it's called, isn't it? Did a great job. Her place is just so pretty, at Christmas time and year round. Brian does a great job down there. But the downtown itself was just really beautiful. The lighting was great. And then we had the New Year's Eve to drop the ball there. I want to talk about that from together. Didn't do any of the work. But it was funny. Shane Strickler says, boy, your brother Philly got us all to do this, but where's he at? And I said, well, that's one thing about the Currys. We'll start something and get good people to do it. We don't need to be there. But Phil's one of those great guys that really has the community first in mind. And Shane Strickler, Tony Foster, Josh Yilling and his wife. Who am I forgetting? Chris Phoenix was probably just a great group of guys at the Elks.
Right.
Putting prime rib dinner
and
chicken.
Did the prime rib.
And it was a packed house. They did a great job. The one thing these young people are doing too is they're bringing their kids. They're not leaving their kids at home to get in trouble. They're bringing them there, and they have a great facility down there in the basement of the Elks for the kids. So it's entertaining down there for them. So my hat's off to Shane and all those guys. Did a great job. The ball dropped. Kurt Dabowski, can't forget him. Down there, Phil got him as the chairman there, and dropped the ball. Fred was there. I watched it on video. Yeah. I couldn't be there. My wife was pretty sick. A lot of that flu's going around right now. And Bob, as a good husband would do, I only went down the Elks and ate dinner and went home around 9 o'clock and babied her and comforted her and got her through the night and was up every hour with her. Aww. And get her. You want some juice? Eat anything at all?
Fred, are you believing this?
No. Am I on?
Yes, you're on.
Yeah.
Morning, Fred.
Beans. There was at least 200-300 people down at the ball drop.
Great.
I was impressed. Well, we got there at 11. There was nobody there. So we went into Carleen Rose's store and sat and warmed up. When we walked out, 200, 300 people. It was good. Young people.
Were you hot when you came out then?
Yeah.
You were hot. Good. Well, Fred, you've done a great job as mayor about what happened in the city this last year and the goods and the bads and all the indifferences, but you're doing a great job down there, and I ain't sucking up to you because I don't need to. But I tell you what, this morning at the mayor's table was one of the most funniest ones, wasn't it, Fred?
Yeah, it was a good one.
It's good to laugh, isn't it?
Yes.
I was telling these guys, a lot of people are at our age, I just turned 70 along with Dan Spadowski, Dan Hicks, and Baudry, and all the great gals in our class of 72. You need a laxative, right, Bob? Do you take Metamucil or anything?
If I need it, yeah.
Yeah, right. Well,
more often than not these days.
I was telling Shively, because he likes Budweiser and I like Coors Light, I said this morning to the boys, and I was exaggerating a little bit, I said, if you want instead of Metamucil, just drink 10 Coors Lights. And then get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, go to the bathroom, which we all do at our age, and then take prune juice.
Oh, okay.
And that'll clean you right out the next morning. You don't need to take anything besides that. You might be on the toilet for an hour on it, but you are cleaned out. And I lost about 10 pounds.
Helpful advice from Pat.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Dr. Pat, yeah.
Dr. Pat.
Take ivermectin if you have COVID.
Dr.
Beep. Bleep that. No, but Fred, let's go to the city just for a minute, and I got some old bits I want to talk about because we lost a lot of great people last year. No, but the city, just tell us the similarities of being a gynecologist and being the mayor of the Big Rapids?
The key is to be friendly to people.
Oh, that's
Both jobs,
huh?
Make sure people are happy with what you say.
Well, you guys did a lot. We'll talk about housing.
Yeah, housing
on
was
Mechanic
good.
Street.
Did you see the house on Rust? It's
on
roofed,
the end of Rust.
Windows are in. It's a nice home. Got out of Grand Rapids, bought all 3 lots. Soon, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Mechanic Street is moving fast and good.
Yeah.
Just got to get buyers for those.
Yeah.
You will.
A little tougher.
Yeah.
But that's good.
Are you going with the realtor on that, or just?
Well, that's up to the Housing Commission. As of right now, they're trying to do it themselves.
Okay. Well, the Housing Commission does a great job, headed up by Dan Farrell.
And Linda Miller.
Yeah,
both a good
Linda
team.
Miller, excellent. Well, she had a good boss there. Yeah. You know, when somebody leaves, we forget. What's his name again?
It doesn't take long. I'll tell you, the Housing Commission is going to do quite a job on the Nesbitt Fairman.
Yeah,
complete facelift on all those apartments. It's going to be a major, huge major project.
People like that. I see.
It's full. Waiting list.
Is there really?
Yeah.
Well, I see Dollar Tree's moving in. That's a great contribution to the city, isn't it? Right next to the Family Dollar.
Now you just need a Dollar General, Fred.
Really?
Well, then you got the Salvation Army, so, you can go get everything there. It's one-stop shopping.
That wasn't exactly what we were hoping for that spot.
Right. But they do have they have some groceries there and stuff. And, the thing about those kind of stores, a lot of it's not fresh. It's frozen. And but when you get to the age of 70 and plus, health-wise, because your time's up anyway, you know what I mean? We're in the lane here, so, hell, we might as well eat everything that says biodegradable, right?
All those preservatives in the food are what's making us live longer.
Yeah.
It's preserving you like a mummy.
But it was a chuckle going there and seeing the $2 stores in the same shopping center. I remember people in shopping centers says, I have a lease, and it says I can't have another restaurant or another bar. And it's like, nope, not here.
No.
We can put it up.
Owned by the same people.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah.
Well, that strip mall's owned by a guy out of Bay City, I think.
Right. Yeah.
And we tried to negotiate with him for some things, and that doesn't go as well.
Fred and I are talking about our downtown. The people are down there really doing a great job, and my hat's off. I went to the jewelry store there, Rogers, and John Meadham and his wife there, and bought my daughter a nice ring for Christmas. My wife, I was going to got in the store there, so I mean.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What a lucky girl.
But we have it in a safety deposit box over at the gas station. So if you don't break into my house, go to the gas station. Try that. But anyway, it was good to see them folks. I see them once a year. How about you, Fred? You buy your wife a lot of jewelry?
She doesn't want any more.
Good. Yeah, she's got
old.
too many. Yeah, right. Actually, my wife's just cashing them in now for her retirement.
I'll tell you
home.
what I miss the most.
Yeah.
Town and Country Men's Store. And if you were desperate, you could get a pair of trousers and you're set. Now, you got to drive all the way to Grand Rapids to get, or Walmart.
Right.
Walmart.
Yeah, they got trousers there.
Where do you buy
I don't know
it,
if they have that. Well, I have to go to the fat guy's store because,
You're not that fat.
Yeah, I am.
You're just round.
I am, but
Wasn't there a rumor there was a men's clothing store coming to town in Brunsmith's location?
Where?
Where Brunsmiths were.
Yeah, there was at one
But I
time.
haven't heard for the city.
But really, you think about it, again, my hat's off to the people from India because they're coming over here and buying stores, gas stations and hotels and stuff like that. They pool their money together and they buy things like that. They're entrepreneurs. My hat's off at them. And I wish they'd buy J.C. Penney's. And that place was a staple. They need to get back, get something in there.
We've tried on that one. And he wants his price, and that's what the price is. And he owns that across the street, too. Oh. Where the phone company was, where they called you.
Right.
He owns that, too.
Wow.
So it's been a tough one. But rumor has it, and I'm going to lay it on you, the theater people were back in town last week looking at the building again.
Oh.
That's huge.
Yeah.
At least for our town. Well, he's a developer. He has bought up.
Okay.
And it was a bunch of construction guys this time. We didn't know them, but we watched as they went through so maybe he's going to make an offer.
Oh.
When was the last time you went to a theater? See, that's the trouble. We don't have one.
Well, let's start with the fact that there's no good movies to go see. How about that?
Exactly.
Well, they made I was just watching a report last night. They made $9 billion, the movie industry. So whatever it is, 12. They're not coming out with any original ideas.
There's no blockbusters anymore. You think about it.
They don't want to spend the money to make.
But they had the Barbie movie. Who in Big Rapids is going to go see the Barbie movie?
Well, families, but still, you don't have the Independence Day. You don't have the Top Gun Maverick. Nobody's doing that anymore.
But
right?
you got Denise D'Souza movies to play in an endless loop. You could do that.
The guy who's is looking to develop it, his family has run theaters through Michigan.
Oh, wow.
So it could be a good combination. And
that'd be great.
I think probably it's in the top 5 of things I'm asked for is, can't you get a theater in this town?
No, that'd be great. Like I said, one other show here, Penny and I took the grandkids up to Cadillac, and I haven't been to a theater in a long time. They have a real nice one up there.
Yeah, they did a nice job.
We took them to a kids show, and hell, I fell asleep. The chairs are so comfortable.
Place to sleep.
Yeah.
The guy come in, he said 100 chairs. And he said, when I'm finished, they'll have 40.
There you go.
Because we put in real chairs.
And they'll be,
I was excited for that. I could sleep good for 2 hours.
Yeah. Well, if you want to go to a theater in town, there is one on Ryan's Creek. It's Scott and Lisa LaCourse's. They have a nice theater down in their basement. They have like 8 chairs. They're big ones, and I'm telling you, they have a great theater down there.
Probably bring your own.
Wow, I've been to her. She's a massage therapist, does a great job. But anyway, we had a great Christmas. I think the kids had a great Christmas. The service at the church was great. I still ponder about how grateful I am for this community that we live in. On Christmas Day, I drove through town, and there wasn't a car on the street. They were all parked in the parking lot to churches. Man, the churches were full, huh?
Good.
Sunday, though. But
maybe that's a resolution for you to get everybody to church.
That ain't going to happen. But anyway, it was a beautiful Christmas. It's too bad we didn't have a little snow.
A little snow would have helped. Yep.
Mm-hmm. But
when your kids get older, you don't get them to all come home at the same time anymore. We dislike that.
Right.
Because we have to go to this house for that Christmas, and a week later there and there. Then at Christmas, we're sitting there looking at each other going, where's the kid?
No, but it is kind of quiet and it's kind of peaceful, isn't it?
Yeah.
The other thing is I noticed on Facebook, I don't get on it very often, maybe 8 hours a day. Mm-hmm. But anyway.
I think your son would disagree.
Part of Facebook?
Yeah, really. Oh, it's terrible. They'll come up there. Your weekly average was.
Yeah, right.
Like, holy Lordy, I'm down 2 minutes. Wait a minute here.
Don't let Penny see that, Pat.
No, right. Peace, love your neighbor, get over it. Come on, let's get along. What's that song? Why can't we just get along, Bob? What was the name of that song?
Why can't we be friends? Or
that's a good one.
Oh, that's a good one. You can play that one. But it ain't going to happen. This is a new year. We're going to go back to hating each other again here pretty quick.
No.
But isn't that terrible? These people are preaching all these psalms saying...
Did you notice we did all games at the coffee house?
Yeah, that was
friendly and fun.
Hey, Fred, I'm gonna put a picture in your head, and I want to see if you agree with me. Who does Pat look like? From the side. Somebody you saw last night on television.
24 hours.
One of the coaches.
Yes.
Yeah,
Jim Harbaugh. Does
Lord.
Not Pat Curry look like Jim Harbaugh?
Pat wishes he made Harbaugh's salary, though.
So
the blue cap and the headphones?
Yes. I put it on our Facebook page. You can see a picture of Pat Curry next to Jim Harbaugh, and tell me Jim Harbaugh is not a long-lost brother of a Curry.
Well,
he doesn't wear khakis, though. Pat doesn't wear khakis.
No.
Yeah, but from the waist up...
Yeah.
You look like Jim Harbaugh. I should say Jim Harbaugh looks like you.
So I could go in there in the stadium, pretend I'm jumping.
If you put your head down far enough, I don't think they'd notice you.
Yeah.
Against Washington. Who would have thought that? Yeah.
Well, how was the score? I went to bed.
What is 27, 29? I'll get it. 29, 27.
27, 20. Were you not watching?
Wow. Not Washington.
But Washington was like 37-31 or Washington about a 6-point win.
Yeah.
So it was a good game. It was a fun Did you watch it all?
They were both good games.
What time did it over? Midnight?
Yeah.
I couldn't watch it. I had to turn it off. I had to turn off Michigan because my stress level can't handle nail biters. They have to be walkovers, then I'll watch.
You didn't watch the end of that game?
No, I did not.
Oh, my God, it was fun.
I couldn't.
What?
No,
because who do you predict would watch?
No, because they were doing stupid things like bobbling, field goal, and I'm like, okay, that's enough of that. It's like
you gotta watch, Bob.
I only watch
We're
winners.
gonna make a resolution for you to watch the final part of a very exciting football game in 24.
Well, I have it videoed, so if I want to go watch it, I will.
You know the outcome.
Washington's going to be tough on Michigan.
Are they?
They are wide open, and crazy.
They throw more than they
throw.
So that's our biggest problem.
I don't know. We got a good backs, though. Michigan, don't they?
Yeah, I mean offense.
They have a good.
Washington will challenge them.
Oh, deep. Okay. Really?
Penix is their quarterback. He was a Heisman candidate.
Yeah.
Oh, see, you got to be able to block.
And
then what did you think of Michigan though in Alabama? Alabama.
I like the sacks when they were sacking him in the first half, and that set the pace.
That shook them.
Honestly, unfortunately, third quarter we kind of let them down.
Right.
But then we came back to the
Lions in overtime. I mean, you got to face it. The guy's good.
Well, he's got good players, that's for sure, McCarthy. But how about Detroit Lions, that play, huh? Just talk about that a couple minutes.
I just wonder if the officials had some interest in the game.
Yeah.
That guy checked in. Harbaugh had talked to him about that play at the pre-game conference. We're going to run this, blah, blah, blah. And then he said that's
where they got that stirred up a lot of people, didn't it?
Oh.
And so how about them Pistons?
Ooh, Pistons? Have they won a game?
They did. They won a game. They won on Saturday. That was it.
My grandson and I are going next week to see him play the Bucks.
Oh.
Okay. Well,
I don't know about that.
But so they got the record for sure, right?
Yes.
Though?
Yeah,
that's important.
Yeah, but by one game, he broke it by one game, and now they're back to losing again. So.
Oh, they are.
Yeah, they lost again. Last night? Oh, yeah.
Wow.
All right, let's talk about 2023.
Well, we are.
Okay.
We just talked about it. That pretty much sums
No,
up.
that's the show.
No.
How about our advertisers?
How about Tom Brady announced his retirement last year?
Who?
Tom Brady.
Again.
The Patriots quarterback.
Yeah. He did again?
Well, he announced his...
He was with Tampa Bay, right? Okay. Yeah. Well, good luck.
Yeah.
And how about Terry Bradshaw? Did he retire from Pittsburgh Steelers?
Yeah, last year, Pat.
Jesus. You know, we go back in time.
We wanted to do a memorial show, and now we're like, what?
But then there's Taylor Swift and her quarterback boyfriend.
Not worth the time.
Yeah.
Not worth the time.
Who cares?
So what else, Jen? National.
Oh, national.
Real
all right.
quick.
LeBron James broke the NBA's all-time scoring record. Jabbar.
Wow.
That happened last year.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Keep talking, Pat.
Yeah, who had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who now has AFib. I know that because he does all the commercials for Eloquist.
All right,
that I pay for.
Who do you think is the best all-time NBA player, Bob?
Will Chamberlain. I mean, I'm kind of, Knicks.
Okay.
So,
he was good.
Jordan.
I do, too. I think Michael Jordan. Yeah.
Scored 100 points one game.
Yeah, one game. Yep.
It's amazing.
And he had how many wives?
10,000.
Yeah, well,
yeah. Oh, my Lord.
You got to flaunt it.
Yeah.
It's quite a read.
What a hero of a hero. But I think Michael Jordan, Fred, and I agree with that. And I'll tell you why I say that. I think because he was a team player.
Yeah.
He wasn't a ball hog. He had shots that he dished off. He could have made a lot more points if he wanted to.
He was great.
And he was a great person. The AIDS epidemic, right?
No, that's
Magic Johnson.
Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
Who?
Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
He's
ain't that the same
AIDS.
guy?
Huh?
That's not the same guy?
Michael Jordan.
All them basketball
Magic
players
Johnson.
look alike. I can't tell. For one.
Good Lord.
But
He's
no,
a real fan, isn't he?
Michael. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. He's a good man, too.
He's also without disease.
Yeah. Well, they've got
Takes a lot of pills every day. But
But lately, pharmaceuticals are actually running the world. We know that. You take this pill, you'll get better for your heart or your lungs or whatever. But then the after effects, the side effects, holy shoot, everything up from if your tongue swallows or you swallow your tongue or you can't breathe.
Death.
Shut down, you may die.
Don't take this pill.
You could go
Holy
blind.
Lordy,
If you're
dude.
allergic to this pill,
My
don't take
favorite
this pill.
is, a 2-minute info, and the first thing they say in the disclaimer at the end, don't take if you're allergic to blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah. I know. How the hell do you know?
Oh, man.
Right. You're cool, Bob. Hey, I'm glad you're on the show today. You're talking more today than
Well,
you
I'm
have
gonna leave now.
all of last year. I love you. Hey, we don't want to forget two very important people in our lives here in Big Rapids, and they've both been under the weather a little bit. And I was thinking of him today as I came out here, is Pete Kent.
Oh, boy.
I used to always drive his Mercedes out here, and we'd be topping, and we'd get to 100 when we got up there past Sarah's Flowers, which is now Dr. Nevin's office, which is 100 yards from there. I'd be going 100, and Pete says, come on, slow down. I don't want you ruining my brakes. Oh, love that guy.
And
but I
then you
miss him.
parked in the handicap spot on top of it.
Oh, yeah. He is a handicap.
Yeah.
But he's doing better. he went some, for people that didn't know out there, he had his knee operated on. He said he'd never been so much pain. Heart attack, cancer, now knee replacement at the age of 94, 95.
80,
wow. 87.
Well, we'll be talking about him when he's 94, 95.
Saying, oh, Lord, I've got to put it in a loop here.
And then Randy Bleeker's the other one that has been enduring a lot of pain, so keep him in your prayers. He's still under the weather there with that aneurysm operation he had on my birthday, the 15th of December, and I talked to him yesterday. He said not quite yet. He's not ready for visitors. He said, I just still haven't felt that good. So, but I was glad to see his son Chad came home to see him. I was surprised. That was great. That was a great surprise for Randy. I think that lifted his spirits too. And Randy's one of those guys that he very smart individual. I love to have him on the show here when he talks about money, because he's a Dutchman, and I love those Dutchmen, man. They're conservative. He should go out to high school before he's done and gone. He should go out to high school and teach a business course to the kids that want to learn
life
about how to
skills for money, actually. Just life
that'd
skills.
Be a good class. Life skills.
Sure.
He'd be good at that. Yeah, he's pretty conservative, and that's what more people should be, and he knows how to run his money, eh?
Yes.
Anyway, the other ones that are smart out there that people should listen to are the drug dealers. Those people, they're flowing. See, the pot shops are still flowing.
Yeah, they seem to be.
Somebody tried to tell me, Sean, or somebody told me the other day, the one out across from Sunoco there, that they closed already. They're not closed. They're open.
I don't think they're closed.
No, they're not. I went out there and checked it out.
They're open.
Yeah, they're open. Bob, I saw you in there the other day.
It was interesting at the ball drop. It was mostly Gen Zs, and they hadn't all been drinking. Open up.
Oh, my Lord.
It's allowed.
Again,
it is.
But it's family game.
It just smelled something fierce.
Yeah.
So it wasn't something to be proud of that much.
No.
I mean, all the drunk old men were fine, but you know.
Right. I know. Isn't that sad, though? I don't mind if people smoke at home and stuff, but you get out there with the kids and stuff. Daddy, what's that? Well, you're going to find out soon
Just tell
enough.
them it's a skunk.
Do a gummy or so. We don't need to have your secondhand smoke.
Yeah.
I talk about secondhand smoke. Well, unless they want a free high.
Some people, though, that do smoke it are considerate because they'll spray themselves real well.
Yeah.
They what?
They'll spray themselves with something.
What?
With a lot of cologne or something. You can tell when they come to the station.
So it
it covers up the weed.
Cologne.
What do you wear on, Bob, when I
smoke?
Have you ever smoked it?
Years and years ago.
Did you inhale it?
I did, yes.
We call a stoner, eh?
Yeah, right.
Back in the day.
No.
Was it legal?
I watched all the other stoners. No, it was not.
Oh.
But the statute of limitations has run out. So. No, you know what we did? We went to the planetarium and watched the laser light show. That was fun now.
Yeah. Top of the hour almost.
Yeah,
yes,
WBZX Big Rapids.
Let's do it.
Yeah, WBZX
Let's do
Big Rapids. I got to do it in the clear. Shh. WBZX Big Rapids. Okay, now it's a minute before 9. Why don't we take a break and do our sponsors?
Do your sponsors. Yours. I don't.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Zach, man.
But in a little bit here, we're going to talk about the ones we've lost last year and their lives and what they meant to us. But we had a lot of... Before we go into that section of our program, we'll finish off with what we were talking about, what we expect maybe this year. We had last year was a dynamic year for a lot of businesses and not so good for other businesses. But I want to talk about the Goshen thing for a minute. That was a big bombshell dropped on the community. Tell everybody if you want something done, you got to talk about it first. Make sure it's going to go through. That didn't really happen. I think that's what really hurt us. I think if they had been more transparent, that maybe this thing wouldn't be called a war within the world. We can't get along with the world, and right here, right now, there's a lot of people that say, forgive and forget. I hate to say it, but it's not going to happen. Words just hurt people so bad you can't take them back. And this Facebook, this messenger, once you put it on there, it's on there forever. And that, I tread lightly on that. Not that I'm afraid, but I really don't hate anybody. I really don't. I was telling a gal from the county courthouse the other day, Mrs. Mitchell there. Can't think of her first name now. God bless her. She's 20 years younger than I. But I was telling her, there's a couple people that call it boycotting, whatever, but the station because I'm no Goshen or somebody's pro Goshen, they're boycotting. I don't think they're really boycotting, and I don't blame them. If they don't like me, they don't have to come in and see me. I don't blame them if they don't want to come in and see me, but don't call it boycotting. Just say, I'd just soon go someplace else where it's friendlier. I can't believe there is a friendlier gas station than mine, but maybe they found it. This day, I don't hate anybody. I feel uncomfortable maybe sometimes, maybe going into a store that looking at me like, oh, there's jackass, But the thing that I feel bad for, and because of my mouth, is my son, Matt. Matt and Adam are kind of taking it over there at the record business and the gas station, and I hope I'm not hurting them by saying what I say at times. But again, we have a great. No, you think it'll ever come back? I just, the people that are disliking each other, I just don't see it happening.
I'm a believer in time heals all wounds.
Well, they die.
Well, one way or another.
Yeah, once they die, I think it'll heal. I don't think families contribute back to hatred of families, but I just don't. It's not good. It's not good. That was big to do what Green Township did. Right or wrong, they did what the people wanted, and that recall, that's unheard of to have a victory for recall like that in any community. I've seen it before, and it would go down. But these people got up. They're resilient as far as I'm concerned, and they're doing a great job up there. I think that Jason Cruz, great guy. He's new at it. The treasurer's new, the clerk's at it, but they're getting help, and I think they're going to turn it on. And it definitely showed that on the vote. You're going to see some change in commissioners next year, I think, in the county level. I think people are standing up, and that will show us the vote on who's for it and who's against it too, because obviously the commission said that they want it. But Fred, I know we need jobs, but we also need a good community that we can feel safe in, and be a good thing for Big Rapids. I really don't, and I'm sorry for saying that because I'm not anti-jobs, that's for sure. But there's just a lot of uncertainties right now in the world with the people that want to bring it in. It could be World War III. They keep saying it. We can't dwell on that. We hope that doesn't happen, but United States and Russia and China and Ukraine and there's other ones out there, and we're messed up right now the way it is. But Big Rapids still a good little community to live in, and like this morning, we have a right to laugh, say what we want to, and we all get along great there. It's just too bad we can't come together as a community. And they say, well, the leaders. I don't know. Our society's gone away from having a leader in our communities anymore. I'm out there maybe a little bit, but there's people downtown that voice their opinion and voice their customers' opinion. But as far as a strong leader, I would love to be, and so would you. And you're trying your best, and I'm trying my best. But people, they're more independent today. They're not so much the followers.
They have many places to find their information.
Yeah, exactly.
And they don't have to rely on Pat Curry or Fred Gunther for their information. What they need to know, so leadership isn't quite that great. However, the presidency is a different issue. The president can lead by policy and by everything. That can work. I don't understand why people take personal offense because somebody has a different opinion.
I don't either.
That's the part that bothers me the most. Jeez, you're against Goshen, I might be for Goshen.
Right.
Does that mean we hate each other because of that? Because one way or another, Goshen's either going to be here, not here, and I want to go back to having friends who are on the other side.
Yeah,
so
I do
that's
too.
my biggest gig. And the city's trying to take that approach. I don't know if you know that, but we're trying to stay Switzerland.
Neutral.
Stay neutral, because if they come, we might be able to sell them some water or do what? We go right back to running the city like we always did. So, we don't. They're good people in both townships.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. Carmen Bean's going to do a good job down there. Bruce Borkovich is getting involved. Getting a lot more people involved with our government.
That helps.
That does help. So it's a start. We're going to see in the next 5-10 years what happens, but it'll come out. All right. So what else? Fair State. We got beat in football. We're done with
Mater won the national championship. Harding. So
good. They did.
Yeah, they did.
Harding killed them in the finals.
Yeah, they did.
I watched it, of course, because I'm an old D2 football player.
Yeah,
and They were amazing, Bob.
Yeah, well, Harding was the spoiler for Ferris a few years ago.
Yes,
I had to be on the fence on that one. But once Ferris was out, I was rooting for Harding. I know a lot of folks were rooting for Grand Valley because, they're the next ones. But
impossible.
They're Michigan. It's okay. I wonder how many Sparty fans are rooting for the Wolverines. Maybe not.
Maybe not. Yeah.
A lot, maybe more not. But still, you go for your home state. Your tax dollars at work,
You bet.
Yeah.
Well, we're running 10 past hour.
Yeah.
We're going to be shutting her down here pretty quick. Before we do, I just want to go through some reminiscing of some people here in the community that we have Pat. We're so lucky to be alive every day, our health. So if you have that, love one another and just appreciate that God gave us another day. But one family my heart goes out to, and Philip's the only one left, and that's Gordy and Donna and Diana Jack Turner. All four are gone. Diane worked for the school system at Big Rapids for many, many years. She was their secretary up there. Did a great job for the superintendent. I was on. Gordy, her husband, worked for the road commission. Great guy. Donna was instrumental in Ferris up there. Done a great job. Jack Turner, whenever I think of Jack Turner, I remember his passing real well because my good friend Roxanne and him went to school together, and they were best friends, like brother and sisters. And he would frequent Zots for lunch almost all the time. And poor Roxanne. And when I say poor Roxanne, she's her husband, but she's lost so many good friends. And Jack was one of them. Just recently, we just lost Larry Schuberg. We talked about him a week or so ago. And Larry was big time with the youth and just a great guy all around, comes from a great family. Fran Ward lived. I always ask Fran, how old are you? How old are you? Well, I'm not going to say her age because I wouldn't want to offend her up in heaven's gates, but she was well over 90 and she deserved to live that life. Her and Jerry Ward were instrumental in a lot of people's lives here in town. Jerry was a pharmacist for years and she was a homemaker, a horsewoman. They had a lot of great horse people that they knew, and they are both missed big time. Just recently, Danny Hayes, our public safety director, her sister, Kim, at the age of 40, cancer a few months back, and she just passed over the weekend. I mean, here it is Christmas time. You're supposed to have a great time with your family, and you lose your sister at 40 years old. Puts it all in perspective. Maybe you ought to sit back and say, good Lord, I don't hate you because I could be gone tomorrow, and I never got a chance to say I'm sorry.
And Danny Haynes is our police chief, and she tried to run her department and stay with her sister as she was dying, and she did an amazing job.
Yeah.
She brought her down here with her by ambulance back to Marquette so she could die at home. And it was a really touching story.
Yeah. We're so fortunate, like I say, and then Tyler, her husband, he's one of the nicest guys. I think he went and did like 2 or 3 duties overseas for us. And each time he went, I knew him before they got married, and I think he was from Everett, but I'm just throwing that out there. But Tyler was off to go to active duty, and I prayed for him. I did. And I tell you, there's equal to, but nobody nicer than Tyler Haynes.
Right.
And now he's working with Remax. But I tell you what, if you want a trusted guy, there's one. He's a great detective for the city, works under his wife there, and I tell you what, there's no bad nepotism there.
No.
They are 2 individuals that do a great job for Big Rapids. So our hearts out and thoughts for Mark Solis. A few years ago or whatever. Mark was a great guy. Deb Connard, great guy. Deb Swears, that was from the Waddell Company back in the old days. Jimmy's wife, Deb, she died way too young down in Florida there, doing what she loved. But unfortunately, Deb was a great contributor to artworks. She loved her clay and stuff. And now I'm going back a few years back, but Carol Ann Wells, I often say I've lost, and I'm thankful to be here, but someday I'll be reunited with Sam and all those guys up there in heaven. But Carol Ann Wells, if I had anyone to bring back, she'd be my top of the list of everyone. Carol Ann, she was just life of the party. And not just that, but she had a great view of people, and she had a great, her demeanor was always, told you where it was at and where it wasn't at. If you were good out of line, she'd tell you, didn't care if you were a millionaire or the mayor of Big Rapids. But Carol Ann's one of those people I surely missed at Zott's Bar, and not that we're all a bunch of drunks or anything, but when we go to Zot's, we don't get there to go to get drunk. We go there for camaraderie. I always tell them I release when I go in that place. It's like Jake Walston's there, and Dave Tassoni was there, Carol Ann was there, and Deb Connard was there. We just had a great group, and now we're getting smaller and smaller, and I miss them. But then Betty Gone, she was from Chase, but she was a great lady over at MYSD. She just passed this last month. I didn't even know it. She was buried on my birthday, the 15th. But Betty comes from a great family up there in the Hawkins area and leaves 2 children, I think. But she always had a smile on her face. And Liz's sister. Yeah. Yes. Just recently, touch on Susan McLaughlin, Dubridge. Susan is the mother of Kurt McLaughlin. And one day, Curtis came in the station. I looked at him, and I said, boy, you look like a guy that I went to school with and grew up in 3rd Ward. And that was Terry Luchins. He goes, he was my dad. And I told him, I talked about his dad, and Curtis sat there, and he never heard that much about his dad, about his life and stuff. Yeah, his dad was pretty mean to him. And I'll never forget in high school in gym class, we was out there running on the track. And there was a senior out there that was breaking all the track records. And we put Terry, all of us got out there and we ran against each other. Terry drew away from all of us, really? And even that track star. And Terry had a set of legs on him, just fast. He was just fast. The coach tried to get him to play football. He couldn't, he wouldn't because he had to be home, blah, blah. He couldn't play track. Great athlete. But anyway, rambling on, Kurt, he track star. Now his son
is good here.
And now
his son's playing in Big Rapids.
His younger one. Yeah. But his older one's in the Air Force.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, and he's playing football or track for him or whatever. But he broke records down in Morley Stanwood with the name McLaughlin, his stepdad's name. I says, I'll never forget, it should have Luchins.
Right, he's at the Air Force Academy.
Yep.
That young fellow.
But his real blood name, Terry.
Didn't know that.
Terry should be on our board at Big Rapids. He would have had track records. But anyway, she was a great lady and raised some great kids, and our thoughts and prayers. She just passed. And then the other one, in class 68 at Big Rapids, Richard Walma. I never knew his last name, but he used to come in the station. I know he's an unsung hero, just a great guy, fisherman and all that. He loved all that. And then he was down by Stanwood. It was Landing, I think it was. Back in the years, a hell of a mechanic. Irene Schuberg, what do you say about a gal that always had a smile on her face? Great teacher, touched a lot of people's lives. I mean, Don, married Don back in the old days. I think they're childhood sweethearts. Don's a great guy. All those Schubergs out there are great people. Irene was one of them. I remember her coming in the station. She would buy a lotto ticket now and then, and she'd talk about her students. They were her students. And when she retired, it was a bittersweet day because she really was going to miss those students. How can you forget Brian Cady? Brian Cady used to come in the station 3 times a day. How do you not love a guy like that? Not because of his loyalty, but his friendship, his smile. He was a wonderful husband, wonderful dad, hard worker at Federal Screw, did him a great job over there for a lot of years. Found out he had cancer. Within months, he's gone. To his house on M20. That sale, my brother Phil said that should have brought around $4,000. I think they raised over $25,000 to $30,000. It was people giving money just because they loved Brian and the family. Jack Smith from Smith Hardware in Mecosta. I didn't have him on the sign because I didn't know, again, he died. I should look at the old bits better. But Jack was a good friend and a great businessman over Mecosta, fun-loving guy. But he lived, not to say that we're going to die in our 80s, but Jack was a great husband and a great friend to a lot of people in the Remus, Mecosta area. He always had whatever you needed at Smith's Hardware in Mecosta, he had it. Judy Manting. What do you say about Judy? She lived in pain for the last 5 to 8 years. Unbelievable what she sustained in her life. And she was a beautiful girl all the way through the whole thing. Never really complained a lot. Yeah, she sat there, I'm not feeling good. Will you punch?
How's Ralph doing without her, do you know?
Pretty hard on him, they had a great relationship like so many of us. He had a great wife. She was a great grandmother. Judy was Judy. Now I say that because she'd tell you straight up what you were doing wrong too. I mean, she was a tough old bird.
She put a sign out for me.
Oh yeah, did
but
you?
I had to earn it.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And I love Moffat. Do you know that name? Yeah, she was a teacher, I think. Yeah, but homemaker, just Russ Moffat's wife, great gal. Elaine Baumick, what do you say about the Baumicks, you know? Jeff Baumick's probably one of the nicest guys that you'll ever meet. Jeff, he'll tell you what he thinks about sports, and he'll tell you that it ain't right. You know, that call was bad. He'll tell you that the professional people are making too much money as a society. You're playing a game that you love, and you're getting that kind of money. That's BS. And who pays for it? You're going to pay $500 a ticket to watch California play baseball. Jeff will tell you all that, and that comes from his mother. Elaine was a sturdy old woman. She was a great. My mother and her were best friends when they were childhood kids, and she married probably one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet, Red Baumick. If you didn't know Red, you didn't know you would. He'd speak to you, and he always had kind words, and he would give you the shirt off his back. And of course, Elaine's mother, Joe Bayshaw. What are you going to say about that? Joe's got more history than the library does, you know. So she raised a great group of guys. Randy Baumick's another son of hers, hard-working guy. Elaine was a hard worker. She worked right up throughout her whole life, and that says a lot about her family, her bad lady. John Betts, Carol Ann, lost her son up in Traverse City there. John was a young man of 35, leaves 2 children. Just terrible. Way too young. Going on, we got Sue Banks. Bill Banks and her were a great contributor to the teaching. Big Rapids there. Sue taught down in Riverview, I think.
Yeah.
And Union Stewart.
And speech teacher, right? That kind of stuff?
Yeah, journalism. Yep. And Sue, just a great lady, beautiful gal, inside and out, and they had a great marriage, and all of a sudden, boom, she's gone. Too young. Dave Harris. I met Dave years ago. He was not the Dave Harris Grant Center, but Dave Harris of the other Grant Center, Paris. And I love Dave. He worked for Federal Screw for a long time, and for them, made him put him on the map, and just did a great job. But anyway, just so many. Who else am I forgetting here, Bob?
One guy mentioned Fred Zimmerman.
Oh, Fred Zimmerman, yes, of course. Fred was on the show here for a couple times with us. Little story about Fred. I bought my property on 19 Mile Road from my brother John. I was 16 years old, and they reside today out in Rodney. My dad said, "We'll sell that 10 acres to Pat, and there's your down payment." I bought my first land at 16 years old. Payments of $108 a month for 5 years. Yeah, that helped old First National. I didn't even know what the hell I was buying. But anyway, I'm glad I did, and I still have the land. And Fred rented it for 50-some years.
Wow.
52 years. And all I said to him was, you pay the taxes. I paid the taxes the last 30 years. I'd have $30-some thousand into that land. It would never be worth having. You got to work the land to make money, and that's why I always tell people, if you're going to buy a piece, you got to make sure it makes it. Mm-hmm. But anyway, Fred did that, and it was just on a handshake. And Fred wanted to contract in the worst way because his brother got screwed by a landowner one time by fixing the land up, and then the guy took it back before the contract, but he had done. Mm-hmm. But I didn't do that to Fred. Fred would speak what he thought. It didn't matter if it was in church or in a coliseum.
That's the thing I heard is that
or on the radio.
He was on the radio for an hour and he didn't use the dump button. I'm like, yeah, actually he was good that way. So, you know. Yeah.
Well, you know, I'll never forget, Bob, when we were sitting here in the studio and I looked at him, I said, well, Fred, tell us. And he looked at me and goes, what the hell, Curry, you know. I know, Fred, but not everybody out the way it is. Well, I think we're screwed up, he said. And he would go on. He was a very good man with a lot of wisdom, didn't he?
Oh, yeah, he was.
A lot of history.
You go back to New England and you talk about Manas. You gotta get that off of here. When I heard him, I thought he's from Bahama, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and you gotta love him for that. You know.
Well, you know, he was so close to his dad Andy, and they just thought the world of him. And I remember his funeral. I think it was Kobe got up and spoke about him. And gee, I said, I hope someday some young man can talk that way about me or Fred or you, because I tell you what, he was good to young people, a lot more than people give him credit for. He touched a lot of people, and he spoke for what he believed. They loved his personality and his character. But Fred, we'll have to have Carol, his wife, come on, and I always wanted to give him a little toot of the horn, you might say, on the radio. So one day this month or next month we'll have Fred's wife Carol on.
Yep. She just sat over there. She didn't really say. She just let him take the show. So
she's a historian too, though.
Yeah.
And
we need to get the histories. Us with having Fred here is that we got a lot of history that might not have been written down or chronicled in some way, and so we have it for the ages. So I think that's an important part of the show. People you have on.
Yep. Jackie Jensen, that's Brian Katie's sister. She also died of cancer, and it wasn't much longer after Brian that she found out she had it. And it was just devastating because she was very close to Katie's and Curry, almost like family. So that was a big loss. Jackie was a great gal. The two nice people that have passed too, again, is Marvis and Walter Kane down there in Stanwood. Walter, what a lost art, man. He just could do anything.
Fly airplanes.
Yeah.
You name it.
He said it the way it was too. He was a man's man, but he could fix anything, Bob. I mean, if you had something in here that needed fixing, he could do it. Lucy Hanson, Tom Hanson's wife, she passed. What a bubbly old Irish girl she was. Did you know her very well, Fred?
Yes.
What do you think? You smiled when I said her name because she was always smiley, wasn't she?
She was a fiery girl.
Yeah, I got to have her family on one of these days too, and we'll talk about her. But she was a great loss for Grant Center. I remember years ago, Tony Geib lived across the street from him. He dreaded once a year they'd have a 4 or 5 day out to Tom's house. He would open the doors up for 4 days, and they would drink and eat and have music out there, bluegrass. It was a great time. Penny and I went to a couple of them there. I just, they'd take you out to the barn, show you their pigs and cows, and turn around, there'd be a banjo playing there.
There you go.
Yeah, yeah. But last but not least, I know we're getting to be 9:30. I want to talk about this guy, but I've been at Zot's Bar. I keep bringing it up, but that's my home away from home, and I love this bar song, and I'm going to play the Piano Man. But I love...
You're going to Piano Man.
Yeah, we'll play the Piano Man, and then I'll talk about the reason we're playing the Piano Man.
Okay,
but this was his favorite song, and every night at Zot's, once a week on Thursday night, he would play this song. He just loved it, and he would sit there and just look at the beer world. All right, Bob, there you go. The Piano Man, that was Dave Tassoni's favorite song. I know for a fact because he loved it and he played it every time, or if he didn't, Doug would play it for him. And then we'd play my favorite song. Then we'd play Doug's favorite song, which was I Don't Even Know. But I do remember it, and I'll always go forever and ever remember the Piano Man.
Yep.
Tassoni, when I think of David Tassoni, I think of his dad underneath the car saying Dave should be here in a little bit when he was in high school.
Yep.
He was a wild man. I think he was a cat with 9 lives. He would outrun the cops. He would outrun anybody that wanted to race him. He was a colorful man.
Yeah.
Young man, I should say. He had a lot of friends, and that was partially due to his character. People loved to be around him because he wasn't afraid to adventure. He just did things that made you smile. And he was a great businessman. Denny's Muffler Shop down there, his son Michael's taking it over now. I guarantee you, 30 years ago, 40, 50, I think David and his dad came to town around 72. They have the cleanest shop down there. Have you ever been in it?
I have.
And that's not a fair question because, you probably never needed their services. But they ended in pipes for people for their cars. But talking about David, his dad, he would just smile. David was a man's man. He helped a lot of people. If somebody needed something, that was great. But, he wouldn't work on junk, and he'd tell you. Mm-hmm. A lot of people would put 2 pieces together and say that's good enough for now. You'd go in there with brake lines or something like that. They all need to be replaced, or he wasn't going to do it. So his workmanship. But he touched a lot of people. Like I said, when anybody was down and out, he would help them. He never took advantage of people. Was a square shooter, got what he deserved. He wasn't your cheap place at all. He did it the right way. But as a friend, I'll always cherish his moments that we had at Zot's Bar all those years. Not that, again, I don't speak like that was his bowling night. Mm-hmm. And his group would come in, and I would go in after work, say 6 o'clock, and they would bowl until 9. Sometimes I was still there at 9, and they would come back, and Doug and him and I and Kim and whoever else was there would reminisce about what happened that week. And very seldom do we ever talk about politics, so I guess maybe that's another reason I like going there.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, he's going to be missed. He is. His daughter, Madeline, now is our religious teacher at St. Mary's Parish. And a great Christian, a great person that he leaves there. So he leaves a great family. I know they all miss him dearly. But David had 9 lives, and unfortunately cancer got him at the end there. But, you talk about a guy that lived a full life. David did in his 60-plus some years. He did a beverage or two and golf or snowmobiling. That was one of his lives. And speed, he loved speed. Speed, I mean cars. And he had some beautiful cars there that he built up. And he leaves a great group behind him, like Mike Miller. I don't think Mike and his wife Mary, the optometrist out to Canadian Lakes there, but I don't think Mike and Mary Miller would be here. So therefore, he brought people to town. Mike was like a son to him, took him under his wing, and I know Mike had some tough times at one time, as we all do, and I guarantee you David was there to help him. He just loved people that were good people. And then, he had some buddies of his going through some bad times. David got behind him 100%. Didn't care what it cost him in business or what was right. But he's one of those guys that we lost last year, and I just think that we'll always remember him. But I look at my life, and as if I was going to tomorrow, I would be so lucky to have friends like David had. Unbelievable. But anyway, Bob, that's pretty much wraps it up. Another week, another year has gone by. And
here we go to 24.
All I pray is that people, the anger, think about the people that have passed, how they would be loving it right now if they were here with us, right?
Yep, absolutely.
But they're not. So, yep. And I know it's easier said than done, but bury the hatchet and bring on the love sign,
All righty.
Yep. All right, Bobby, I think that's about it.
Yeah,
I got one more song.
Yeah, let's thank our sponsors.
Oh, God, yes. 911 Joe there. He's trying to make a living down there for his family and his people that work for him. He's doing a great job at something burns up in your house, whatever, and you need somebody to come in and take care of it. Joe does a great job. He's new to the area, been here about 150 years. Great family guy. So 911 Restoration. And you got Kim and Zach Wells. I should say just Zach, Kim and Zach Wells. They're great people at Pennzoil, but Zach's the one that heads it up down there. He's got a great crew. They'll do anything from tires to oil changes. Yep. I mean, accommodating. Zach's a real nice young fella. Just recently got married last year to a great gal there.
So there's something good that happened last year.
Yeah. A lot of good things happen. Yeah. That's what we should have talked about, marriages.
Next week you can talk about, if we got the list.
Maybe next week.
We got another week to talk about all this.
Every time I walk away from this show, I'm thinking, darn it, I should have said that. I should start recording. But anyway, I'm thankful for my great job in life and my wife. We're just getting at the tail end of it. But I think it's been a very good year last year overall. You look at Jen and Dom, what they've done for the community with the radio station. You got a new talk show there with Bruce Borkovich and Chris Long, and poor Chris, I think he's going to do a good job. He's got to calm down a little bit there. I don't think two wrongs make a right. He's very good in that, but you just he's got to slow down a little bit. Don't get burned out. Stay straight.
You're young,
Yeah, he is. He's got a lot of energy, and I think the world of him. I wish him well. And Bruce Borkovich, what can you say about him? He's doing a great job for the community too. But anyway, then
Chris just said thank you.
Yeah, well, she's a great gal. She really is. Without this station, I wouldn't be here, and I really appreciate it. And I've had a lot of fun. Much and don't talk about one thing, get it over.
And we got to thank Seth Winger, of course.
Yes, thank you. Yes, Seth Winger. He's a great guy from Baldwin, now in Big Rapids area. They have 2 locations. He's a 3rd generation insurance company, kind of like Tyler Schuberg. Actually, I think Tyler's a 4th generation. His grandmother started it back in the 40s, I think. Yeah, I think they've been around for 75 years. I was thinking just the other day, there's Rapids that have lasted 75 years now. I could be corrected by anybody out there. Go ahead and do it. And I'd love to hear from Ron DeVries because he's been around a long time. He could correct me probably. But Schuberg Agency, I think they're in their 78th year, possibly, maybe more. Michael Oil and Propane. Unbelievable gale out there in that company. George Geib and all of them out there doing a great job. for the propane and off-road diesel oil.
Yeah.
Mike Oil, I think they started in 1948, and I could be wrong. They might have started a little before, but my dad started his first gas station in 1948. So last year was our 75th anniversary.
Okay.
And the year was going by so fast and so many things going on, I didn't get a chance to appreciate Big Rapids and have a big celebration. But others, I'm sure, have done it too. We have to slow down and understand that 75 years, we're the only gas station that has survived it all, the corporations buying up and stuff. And now we're going into a third generation that I would hope my son Matt would turn it down. I know we got the electric coming in and everything like that, so we'll probably
I think that's going to be a long time.
Yeah, but we'll adapt.
Thing.
Everybody adapts, don't they, to change, Yeah. We just hope it's doing the right thing.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, I think so. We'll see what happens. I think there's and that's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
I think there's other things coming down the pike that,
Well, let's play this song.
Yeah, we got this one, yeah.
Play this song, and if we have something else that we forget, we'll come back on. Yeah, I want to reach out this morning to Ron DeVries and Paulette. Love you guys. Ron comes in the station once a week now and sits and we talk for about an hour and reminisce, and he's got a lot of history of Big Rapids, too. But Ron's, he got cancer, I think, back in 2000, but, man, he's beat that cancer every time. His color looks good. Love you, Ron. The other one I want to say hello to is my good friend Joe Weckham. And Joe and Lynn are great friends of mine. Greg Voldry and Chris, we all had a great time. Dan Spadowski, Stan and all us, Joe Bayshaw, all had a great time at New Year's Eve. But I love Joe. Joe's a great contributor to Big Rapids, Reed City area. He comes from a great family. Whenever St. Mary's needs something, Joe and Lynn are there. Doesn't matter if it's money or time. He's 76 years old coming to be. I mean, the guy's still not quite got the spring that he used to have, but still got a spring in him. But there are just so many unsung heroes out there. The one I want to touch on, yesterday morning, a gal came in the station, and her husband's got cancer. He's on hospice, and I love her to death, and she was short a little bit, forgot her wallet. And I said, no, we got this. So they've been making some trips and that. Not just me. This gal right here grew up in the 3rd Ward just like I did over on Sherman Street. She's lost her leg to cancer. A beautiful face on her yet today. Just a beautiful girl inside and out, and that's Susan Sharp. Susan came to me a couple of years ago with some cash, and she said, you know what? You know a lot more people than I do that need help. And I take her money and I put it in my pool, and I distribute it to the people that need it the most. So between her and I, it's just not me. So people say, oh, Pat Curry's so generous. No, I'm not all that. I am, yes, maybe a little bit, but Susan Sharp is a lot more. She's just a great gal. She's given so much to this community that the community doesn't even know. So you pray for Susan Sharp, because we need people like that in our community. Those are the people that make this community live here. So I want to say thank you, Susan, and God bless you. The other one is Jim Gerst. He just had a birthday. Jim and Alice are great people. They're parishioners also, but when it came to plowing the snow around the church and stuff, we gathered up my son Adam and Jeff Generou and myself and Tony, the maintenance man down there, been taking care of the snow problem down there this year. Thank God we don't have any, but we do need it for the kids. But anyway, came up and, hey, here's some money for gas money. I can't be there to help you plow, but I want to help you this way. And him and Alice, both years since we've been doing it, have pretty much paid for all the gas.
Okay.
So, I mean, we got people out there like Jim Gerst and Susie Sharp and many, many more. I know we do. And I hope I don't get those two in trouble. People start calling them for money, because that's not what it's all about. You know what? It came from the heart. It came from the heart. And we have a lot of hearts. Moving right along, we're going to close the show up, but I suggest to do 2 things this year to people.
Okay.
Do the cold plunge.
Oh, okay.
You haven't done it, Bob, but you should do it. I'm telling you what, I've done the cold plunge 4 times. When you get in there, everything shrivels up. I mean, from the toes to the up to the top.
Yeah, everywhere.
But it does make you feel better. I got a little arthritis in my one thumb here, and that helps. And you got to do this year is getting to jump into a sauna.
Oh, okay. So you're one way to the other.
Yeah.
Okay.
Doing a different time. You'll sleep a lot better, both of them.
Yeah.
But anyway, exercise, do what you got to do. God love America. I love you all out there, and I really mean it. If it wasn't for you, the Currys wouldn't be there. I always tell everybody, it's not about us, it's about you. We want you to have an exciting adventure coming in to Hook That Currys. Currys Amco's there for you. Even if you don't buy from me, if you need me, let me know.